Welcome everybody. It is Business Monday here in downtown Providence, and welcome to the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. I'm Josh Fenton. It is the small business feature. I've got Karina Wood with me. She is the modern day Natalie Merchant. Natalie Merchant had 10,000 maniacs. You've got 10,000 small businesses over there with Goldman Sachs.
I love it.
Absolutely. I will not ask you to sing. Let's talk about a wildly interesting initiative housed down at CCRI, working with small businesses, and really just a best practices course, right? To get them thinking about different ways and best practices. Walk us through how the program works from, if I'm sitting at my office right now, pulling my hair about account receivable, my marketing, hiring, and I hear you, what's the pitch? Why should I jump online and look you guys up?
Well, the 10,000 Small Businesses program is a growth education program. It's for small businesses, and it's specifically for the owners of small businesses, of any industry sector business in Rhode Island that is growing, that is on the move. If you are already at least 2 years in business and have a couple of employees and are making over 100,000 in gross revenue, and then we have no upper limit, but if you're past that startup phase and you're growing, but you would like some help about how do I get to the next level? How can I meet these challenges around hiring and management? Am I marketing to the right customer? What are some of the things that I could plan my vision for growth? So we bring you into this 12-week program. It's roughly one class a week at CCRI in Warwick. The curriculum is designed by Babson College, so it's best in its class. And it's a practical program to help you design a 5-year growth plan to take your business to the next level.
So we've heard nothing but good things about it on Business Monday, and we've had, I don't know, 3 or 4 graduates of it. How long is the program? And, you know, for all of us who are running businesses, the idea of a weekly time commitment is enough to send us into an apoplectic seizure.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about what's the commitment from the entrepreneur, from in class, outside of class. Walk us through that a little bit.
It's the right question to ask, Josh, because every small business owner is going to say, I don't have time, I don't have enough time. And we get that. And that's why this curriculum has been designed to fit into the life of a busy business owner. It's one class a week. Sometimes that's a full day of class. Sometimes it's a 3 or 4 hour clinic. It sounds like a lot, but what we're trying to help you to do is be the leader of your business, to be able to wrap your head around creating the vision for where your business is going. So we're trying to take you and carve out a few hours a week so that you can work on the business and not in the business.
Right.
And once you start doing that, you are going to figure out growth. Maybe it's designing a new product or service, thinking about entering a new market. Maybe you want to open a 2nd or 3rd location. Maybe you're a restaurant, but you want to move into catering. We will help you figure out that growth trajectory that's right for you. And also you get to work with a business advisor one-on-one outside of the classroom time. They will come to your place of work. They will meet your team.
That's right.
They will help you write this growth plan. And also, I think a really, really hidden bonus of the program is that you are in a classroom with 30 or so other business owners. So you create this camaraderie, this network of other business owner leaders, and you learn so much from each other. And then you've got this network for good.
Right.
So that really is part of the secret sauce, if you like, of why this program's so successful.
I went through Leadership Rhode Island
another great program.
years ago,
Yes.
and that was the same thing.
Yes.
You know, big commitment of time, but also, you know, the classmates you made are for forever. Talk about the range of different businesses who have gone through the program.
Yes.
The smallest, 2 employees.
Yes.
Largest?
Oh, largest, I think, well, Banneker Industries just did the program. We've had people who have got, 50 employees, maybe upwards of $10 million. The average size, it's anything from that couple of 100,000, few employees, right through to, I'd say, sort of 5 million. We get a lot in that range. That's a lot of small businesses out there in Rhode Island. But you could be in design. We've had manufacturers. We've had retailers, restaurant owners. Right here in downtown Providence, Small Point Cafe up the street is a graduate of the program. And so is Ellie's Bakery. Yeah. So restaurants is obviously one of our key demographics. A lot of great food happening in Rhode Island, and we're really happy to help that food industry. Breweries as well, Foolproof Brewing in Pawtucket, and on the manufacturing design side, Lotus Leather, also here in Providence, making beautiful leather goods, construction, you name it. We've had them in the program.
How many have gone through?
By the end of the year, it'll be close to 200 businesses.
That's right.
Yeah, we have a cohort going on right now, cohort 7, and we're recruiting for next year. If any of you out there want to do a no cost, and I have to say that again, no cost program, thanks to the grant from the Goldman Sachs Foundation that Governor Raimondo brought to Rhode Island. This is free of charge to business owners because we want to invest in small businesses, because we know small businesses are the economic engine, and you guys need and deserve investing because you hire people, more people collectively than the bigger businesses.
So Rhode Island is a small business state.
Yes.
GoLocal's worked in, has sites in other states, and give you an example, Oregon's a big employer state, you know, Nike and Intel and Adidas and lumber companies, they're big employers. Here we're all about small business. There's about 40,000 small businesses, 30,000 that are very active and full-time kind of. How do you make this better known? How do you, besides being on GoLocal?
Oh yeah, this
but also,
helps.
how do you create the energy around it to be able to fuel it and get sort of that alumni factor to it all?
Great question. So we can serve around 30 businesses in each cohort. We do 3 cohorts a year.
Right.
And the best way the word gets out is through GoLocal and others like you. Also, our network of alumni, business owners who've done the program and love it, tell other business owners.
Right.
And associations, trade associations, chambers of commerce, Commerce RI, everybody refers, and I think that's the beauty of Rhode Island. We're a small state. We've got that great scale.
We're all cousins,
and
right?
Relationships.
Right.
And so when we all pull our resources together, there are loans also that we have to give out to small businesses. We can really get the word out together, and so that's how it works. It's going very well, but we still want more and more referrals, and we can take them.
Great. What's been our always question? What's been the biggest challenge, failure? Oh, I wish we had done X, Y, or Z differently.
Gosh, that's a great question. So far, I can say there have been no spectacular failures.
No one has died in the program,
no,
correct? Okay,
no,
good,
no,
good.
That's right.
Right.
No, nothing at all like that. I think some of the things we're learning is we're based at CCRI in Warwick, and one thing we're learning more is just how many people in this state have a connection at CCRI, have taken classes there, got an associate's degree there, or have done continuing education there. And we're learning to utilize that alumni network there in a way that we
didn't
were housed
anticipate.
There
Yeah,
originally.
right.
We love it there.
Free office space,
yeah,
but it turned into a lot more.
They're our educational partner, and we have our classroom there. And now we've been there a few years, we're making more connections and deeper relationships. So I think there's things we learn all the time. Another thing we learned that we didn't really go after in the beginning was Rhode Island's farms.
Oh, yeah.
We have farms in Rhode Island, and they are small businesses.
And a lot of them are really struggling.
Yes.
The vast majority of
They need
farmers
the
in
support.
New England full-time farmers have a second full-time job.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So we can't help them enough.
Right.
And so once we realized, oh, yeah, farms are small businesses, of course.
Right.
Earth Care Farm in South County, they're making a wonderful organic fertilizer compost, and they came into the program to develop that compost product growth plan. Wright's Dairy Farm recently graduated.
Oh, did they?
So we're on a roll, and we can take...
Did they bring
They did bring samples.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes, they brought samples.
That was a tough application to approve, wasn't it?
I've had to up my training program. My physical training.
Rights has applied? Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait till how they're examining how Harvard's making their decisions in admissions.
Yeah.
Wait till it all comes on
It's a good job.
about bakeries applying.
I don't get to decide who gets in, thank goodness. So I can be objective, but I was very glad that they got in, yes.
What realistically, besides the grant, what's the touch and feel that comes out of Goldman Sachs? How do they participate? What's their role? And what's the follow-up once someone's graduated? You learned all these best practices. How do you continue in those best practices?
Well, Goldman Sachs, through their foundation, it's the philanthropic foundation of Goldman Sachs that funds this program.
Right.
And what I have learned from working with them over the last few years, I go to conferences. We had a big summit that they hosted in Washington, D.C. for all the alumni of the program across the country. And what I have learned is that they see that investing in small businesses across the country makes really solid economic sense because, as I said, the small businesses are the economic engines of America, as they are in Rhode Island. And so to help them to create jobs, to help them grow their revenues, is really to help the economy as a whole and to help community.
Right.
And so that's where I connect is, it's funding, it's investment for Rhode Island, for our small business owners, which is wonderful, so they can do this program for free. And also because I believe personally so much in community development and helping communities grow and flourish. Small businesses, like Frog and Toad is one of our graduates on Hope Street here in Providence. They are typical of a business that is part of their community.
Right.
And who you're going to hear from next, Jen Cavallaro with the Beehive Cafe in Bristol. Again, a key part of her community. So when we help small businesses grow, we're helping communities to grow, and that's why I love it.
Well, it's a big issue. You're seeing the change of retail and how much it's being condensed, and we're seeing it condensed. I think 63 major chains in the United States have declared for bankruptcy in a really good economy.
Yes.
This is about as good as it gets. 4% unemployment and GDP of almost 4%.
Yes.
So there's a lot of worry, and then your Main Street starts to fall apart, and your sense of community starts to fall. And we all love Amazon, but that's not exactly the neighborhood meeting place, right? Other than to go pick up our boxes.
People do want the convenience. They do like online, but they also like the community connections.
Absolutely.
Of going into a local cafe or a store and having that conversation. And when somebody recognizes you and says, you're going to have your usual, your regular, you can't beat that.
Right, norm.
Yeah,
right,
exactly,
absolutely.
Exactly.
Where do you see the program going in the short term, and then where do you see it going in the long term?
Well, we're on a 5-year grant from the Goldman Sachs Foundation, and we've just started year 3.
Right.
So just very
you've got 2 more years.
I know I have 2 more years.
Have you thought about using 1 year of the grant, say going to Twin River, letting it run on 17 Black and seeing if you could fund it for the next 20 years?
I have not thought of that.
Yes.
I thought about buying all the cream cakes at Rice, but no. No, so seriously though, I think it's a fantastic program. I know it's very valued by the governor and by all the folks at Commerce RI. I see that this program has a future here in Rhode Island. If we keep enrolling as many small businesses as we've already enrolled, then I really hope that we can come together as a state, convince Goldman to fund it some more, and if we need to put in some local funding too, I think we could do it.
I think Goldman's got the money.
I think
they do.
Yes.
I think they've got a few shekels hidden away for the rainy day. We'll put it in the article going tomorrow that will recap and rerun this video, but talk about somebody's watching, they're interested in applying, what do they need to do?
Okay, so for you small business owners out there, we would love to have you contact us. We have a website. If you go to ccri.edu/10KSB, you will find all the information about our program. 10KSB stands for 10,000 small businesses, so hopefully you can remember that. Also, there's a national website, 10ksbapply.com. The initial application form takes just 5 minutes. It's really easy, it's free, just go online, 10ksbapply.com, fill out that form, we receive it, and then we can see if you meet our basic eligibility requirements. And if you do, then we will get you into a longer application process with an interview, and then you can see if you might get in with us for the next year. But you need to be a growing business and be passionate about growing. That's what we want to see, is your passion for growth and your ideas. Even if you're not sure on the specific idea, have some ideas, talk to us about it, and we would love to hear from you.
Last question. Out of your first cohort, talk about one or two of the successes and what kind of growth trajectory, either by naming names or not naming names, that you've seen coming out of that over the last 2.5 years.
Name a few names.
Yeah.
So Johnny, who runs Heroica Construction, he was in our first cohort, and when he started the cohort, he was in more of a subcontractor kind of situation. It was a family business. It still is a family business, but they were doing mostly residential painting. He crafted a growth plan. He had a vision. He wanted to be the contractor. He wanted to be running the contractor and giving the Gilbanes of this world a run for their money. And he is doing it.
That's great.
He has increased his revenue a lot. He's increased his employees. And it was Heroica. He came in, it's Heroica Construction now.
That's great.
They're doing great.
Great.
And there's a lot of stories like that. We just get so happy just being a part of helping businesses to grow and hire more Rhode Islanders. So they do the hard work. We help them grow it. We're really happy to do that.
Monday afternoon, Small Business Focus is definitely the highlight of my week because it is an opportunity to talk to entrepreneurs who are out there living, breathing. You know, it's not, overnight success is like.
It's not easy being an entrepreneur, small business owners. I take my hat off to all of you. I'm really honored and impressed always to be in the classroom with all of you and see how hard you work at it. And yep, thank goodness you do it.
When I was having breakfast one day with Jeff Grabowski at Deepwater Wind, who's one of our sponsors here at GoLocal, and we were talking about the ebbs and flows of starting a company, and I said, how many times did you just throw your head into your hands and go, ugh, what am I doing? He said, not more than 20 or 30 or 40 times. But there's just a constant effort, reinvention, adjustment, repositioning. It is
like this,
just about never. And if it is a straight line up, it's probably a straight line down because you've just hit a fad or something like that is non-sustainable.
Well, sometimes we help people manage
the success.
Growth.
Right.
So growth's happening very fast for a business, and they say, I need to wrap my arms around this, I need to manage it. And we can help you do that as well.
Listen, there's three things. There's sinking, which is actually easy. There's staying the same, which is literally impossible. And there's growth, and especially hyper growth is the most difficult.
Yes.
Especially in an economy like this where there's just not a lot of bodies out there to be able to keep fueling the growth. Karina, thanks so much for coming on. Stay right here. We're going to be right back in about 30 seconds with one of the graduates of the program, and then we'll be back at 4 o'clock with Gary Sass talking about all the bond issues that are up. We'll be right back in about 30 seconds. Welcome back, everybody, to Small Biz Feature on Business Monday here at the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. I'm Josh Fenton. This is Jennifer Cavallaro and our all-English Monday here at GoLocal Live. You are the proprietor of one of the cool places to go and relax, have coffee, have a biscuit in Bristol, and a graduate of this small business initiative over at CCRI, sponsored by Goldman Sachs. First, let's start in Bristol. Talk a little bit about your place.
Well, I have two businesses in Bristol now.
Yeah.
We started with a cafe,
Yeah.
which I opened in 2007 as a little bakery cafe. I'm an amateur baker, basically. Did little scones, muffins, cookies, espressos, that kind of thing. And as anybody who's been there knows, it just sort of grew and grew and grew really quickly and became a restaurant. It's
Yeah.
basically a restaurant
Right.
now. And then in 2015, I opened the bakery, which is just a mile away in town. We now do all the baking there, and we take it over to the cafe, and we sell at the bakery all of our fresh goods, and we do salads and sandwiches to go for people who are in a rush. That's what we have, two growing businesses.
And you're growing a lot.
Well, the pantry especially is
Yeah.
growing. After 3 years now, it's really got that vibe, and that it's really catching on. And the cafe is just as crazy and busy as ever, which makes me happy.
So talk about for a minute going through the 10,000 Small Business Program sponsored by Goldman Sachs down at CCRI. Why did you enter the program?
Well, it was actually the result of the governor, Raimondo.
She came to you.
She came to the cafe to give me a sort of certificate and congratulate me for 10 years in business.
Congratulations.
Which was great. And
Yeah.
I made a throwaway comment. I said, oh, we have another location now. And I said, but that's all I'm ever going to do until I get professional help, meaning that I realized I had reached the limit of what I could manage as an amateur business person, basically. And she said, you should do the 10,000 business program. And I said, oh, yeah, who has time? And she must have passed my name on because they kept calling me. Eventually, I took the call and I was like, okay, this sounds really good. That would be amazing.
Great. And when did you start the program, finish the program? How long? What year did you graduate?
I just graduated in August.
Yeah.
I started in May
Yeah.
and ended in August
Right.
this year. And it was one full day a week,
Yep.
which seemed like impossible, but there isn't a minute in that program that isn't oriented towards the practical side of running a business. You're not sitting taking notes and
Right.
lectures about finance or whatever. It's all sort of experiential learning, role playing, case studies, and they push you to work quickly and think quickly, and you learn a lot every day.
That's great. Running a small business as entrepreneurs, as we both are, tremendous pressure.
Yeah.
Tremendous pressure both in growth and in a good economy, although it's sometimes easier in a good economy, but there's also complexities, staffing, keeping staff, motivating staff, etc. Talk a little bit about what skill sets you learned through the program that you're trying to apply, especially in the management of your team.
Well, that's really what has helped me so much. I'm basically an amateur, and I think a lot of small business people are good at something. I'm a good baker, other people are good at cutting hair or whatever.
Right.
And then you get into a business and you start growing, you start hiring people, and you don't even understand that you're creating a culture.
Right.
Or that or even what you are really supposed to be doing. At a certain point, you realize, oh, I'm not really a baker anymore, I'm a business owner.
Mm-hmm.
The program helped me define leadership, define culture of an organization, led me along the path of looking at what that means and about structuring the management of your company, which I hadn't really had to think about. I was just winging it, basically. And
Right.
I think a lot of small businesses do that. You just wing it, and then suddenly you realize,
Oh, do you think?
I need help.
Do you think CEOs of Fortune 500 companies aren't winging it?
Well, that's true. You just fake it till you make it, right?
That's right.
But it has profoundly changed the way I think about my business.
Yeah. And what's your goals now? I mean, part of that process of taking this experience going through the 10,000 Small Business Program is setting your goals and identifying sort of that over the next 5 years, where you are now and where you want to get to. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, within the program, to simplify things, I focus mainly on the Beehive Pantry because it's newer.
Yeah.
And really my growth plan was about making it efficient, because we make everything in small batches by hand, which is really difficult actually to do efficiently.
Right.
So we're working a lot on making the process quicker, better, more efficient, and making it so that it will be a standalone business that can be replicated. So we could end up with more locations, but we're not ready. The programs help me think about, I need to get ready for that. How do I do that? Everything has to be systemized. Everything has to be set in stone. And you know, when you're like me and we just love, oh, let's make this today, or let's make that salad today, that isn't actually a great way to run a business. You need to have better planning and, you know, that kind of thing. Whereas at the cafe, we have everything pretty systemized now after 11 years.
That's great. How many employees, full or part-time, do you have between the two locations?
Between the two, I have about 40 now. Obviously, a lot of the baristas are only a couple of shifts.
Right.
So, you know, you could sort of say about 25, really.
And what's the biggest learning experience for folks who are watching? What's the biggest learning experience in hiring and retaining folks that you'd pass along?
Wow, the hiring and keeping of staff, as everybody in the restaurant industry knows, is really difficult.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time in class talking about culture, talking about creating a sense of community within the organization, and giving people positive feedback and making sure you're acknowledging what they're doing right and wrong, but in a good, supportive way. And I think being able to spread that through to your managers and make sure that they're communicating how you want them to and about the things you want them to, those things we talked about in class and have really, really helped me to think about that going forward as I get bigger.
And are you more confident as a CEO now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Night and day.
Yeah.
And just internally for me, saying, okay, this is my job, that I'm supposed to be setting the culture and deciding which way we're going, as opposed to getting sucked into worrying about, you know, what kind of donut we're making today. Like, I really need my staff to let them be creative with what pizzas are we making today. I'm saying, well, you know, how do we hire people to make the pizzas, and how do we make them happy making the pizzas, or whatever we're making that day. So.
That's great. If your suggestion, folks watching, folks thinking about the program, what's your suggestion to them?
Take the program.
Yeah.
Take the program. The time is so well worth spent. I didn't feel like a day was wasted in that program. We were there, you know, sometimes 8 to 5, but I don't think anybody in the program thought that there was any wasted time.
That's great.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for coming on. Congratulations on all the success.
Thank you for
2 locations, 40 people, a Rhode Island success story. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Small Business Feature on Business Monday here at the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Center. I'm going to be back at 4 o'clock with Gary Sass, the money man, head of the Hassenfeld Institute at Bryant University. We're going to be looking at the bond issues, talking a little bit about the governor's race, and everything else that's going on anywhere from D.C. to Rhode Island. We'll